So, friend, today we will discuss React hook, and we will relate this React hook with our class lifecycle methods, and we will create a state in by the help of React hook, and we will use a React hook method. We will use React hooks to create our lifecycle method in functional components. So, so first of all, what is React hook? Okay, so I'm just going npm. I'm starting my project. Npm start. Okay, what is React hook? I'm just going here. I'm just typing hooks. So as you have seen, in real life, hooks are this type. As these are the images. Okay, and these images we use, these hooks we use to pull something, pull some weight, and we just tie a rope in this, and we just climb on some building, we just climb on some tree. So these type of hooks generally uh, we use for the different purposes to, and somewhere we use these hooks to uh, uh, to measure the weight. Okay, so in React, we have hooks like special functions. These are the special functions which is used for the special purpose. Okay, some hooks we have for the creating the states to holding the data, and some we have like to the purpose of life cycle methods, and some we have for the passing the data as we pass the props, but we don't want to pass the data in every components. So so we have lot of hooks, and we will discuss here all the important hooks which we will use in the development, and which are the really important as as and we will also discuss the interview questions as well in that. So where is our project? I have started. Okay, so this is my project. I'm just going to create one component here, functional component I will create here. First dot jsx. Okay, this is my first dot jsx. RFC React snippet I'm just using. Okay, I have created one functional component here. Okay, so this is the props we have discussed in previous lectures as well. What is the props? How we will pass props? Okay, I am just going here. Component. This functional component, and I will just import this component here. Import first from components slash first. Okay, now I am calling here this component. So this is my functional component. Okay, it's joining late. So like props, I'm just passing some data here like count equal to 0. These are the props I'm passing from here, and I will get here like props.count. Like this, we pass props. Okay. Now I'm using one. I am having one React hook use state. Okay, use state. Okay. And this use state return us a array like this. Okay, and we will destructure this array into like count and set count. So first is the value on another is a function which is used to set the value, set this value. So we will like okay. So initially, and this is 0. 0 means this is initial value. So we will assign here initial value. Okay. So as the initial value, my initial value is as a prop, I can pass from here count. Okay. Now I can use as in the class component I have used state. So now count is our state value. Okay. So this is the count. So I have not imported the use state. So we will import here use state hook. So now we have 0. Okay. So I have a one using I'm here. I'm creating one button. The same example I'm using here, which I have used in the class component. Increment and decrement. We will increment this value and decrement this value. And on click, decrement. Okay. And this is the increment method. Increment. Okay. Now I will create two functions, one for increment and one for decrement. Decrement, okay, and one function for increment. Okay. Now I will change the count, like set count, count minus one, and set count, count plus one. Okay. So set count, I'm using this function. Okay, set count. Okay, and I'm changing the count variable. When I will click on the like decrement button, then I will decrease count by one. Okay. When I will click on the increment, I will decrease count. I will decrease increase count by one. Okay. Let's see on the browser. So like this. I'm just click. So this is increasing, but this is plus plus, not doing. I think this is the issue here. We can use parse int here as well because this is now okay. Now this is increasing, now this is decreasing. Okay. So how we can create a state? Okay. So I have created the state like this. Okay. And how we can modify the state by the set count, I have modified the state count. Okay. So if I want to decrease this like this, and I want to increase twice. So like I have 10 and I click on the decrease button, then it should be 8. And when I click on the increment, it should be 12 after 10. So there should be increment of 2 and decrement in -2. Okay. So let's check. I'm just refreshing, clicking here. But this is not happening. This is just incrementing and decrementing only one. So how we can overcome from this problem? So I have here proof count. Okay. Proof count. I'm using this. Proof count store the previous value, previous change, currently change value itself. Okay. So I'm just going to browser. Oh no. I'm just minus. Oh no. Now this is 2 plus 2 incremented and this is -2 incremented. Okay. So when we will work with the state, then we will use brief count and brief type of prefix we will use, and this stores the previous value. Okay, count does not store the previous value. It's just first written. In the case of count, is just we set the count in the set function. Okay, is then after the setting the value is just written, but in the previous value is just hold the previous value and another we can change this previous value. Okay, after that this will render our components. So and we have another variable like title. How we can change title? So we can create one more state for the title, like title and set title, and in this title initial I have initial state. Okay, so I'm just going here initial. Okay, so now this is my initial state. Okay, title, not initial. This is title. Okay. This is initial state. When I will click on decrement, then set title. I'm changing initial state to decrement. Okay. And when I will click on the increment button, when I will change the state of increment. Okay. Let's go to the browser, and this is now initial. Initially this is value 0. As I click on plus, then this is changed to increment. As I click on minus, then this is changed to decrement. Okay, so we can have any number of variable in our state like this. We can use like this. As you are beginners, if you are beginners, then I will recommend you to use state like this. Okay, and we will discuss like another way how we can have this count title in just in one object. Okay, before that I have to discuss something like like this is my use state. Okay, so use state I cannot have into a condition like if condition and into an for loop. So I will not recommend and React documentation does not recommend to use into the if condition like this. This is the true, so this will be always be true. So there should be no problem if I use this, then I will get an error because we cannot use state into the if condition. Okay, like here, React hook use state is called conditionally. React hook must be called in the exact same order in which the average common. So order will be the same as we were using previously. So we cannot have in the condition if I change this condition to for loop like for and where I equal to 0, I less than 1, I plus plus. Now I have for loop, so I have an error also. I cannot use in loop like possibly because it is called in a loop. Okay, use state may be executed more than once, so we cannot have this use state in the loop as well. And so these are the limitations of React hook. We cannot use React hook in a if condition, for loop, and in a function. If I have some function like function ABC here, okay, and I just cut and paste my state here, and I call my function here, then I will get an error also. Use state is called in a function. Okay, use state. React hook use state is called in a function ABC, that is neither the React function component or nor the custom React hook function. So we cannot use our React hooks in a function, in a condition, in a loop. Okay, these are the limitations of React. So I think this concept is clear to you. So let's move to the another concept. So like in our class component, we have a constructor. So how we can have a constructor here? Okay, so as I have here state, I just use a arrow function here and I will return this. Okay, and now console.log constructor constructor. Okay, and I have refreshed this. Okay, so after refreshing this, this constructor is calling. Okay, when I am going to click here, incrementing, I am incrementing my state, then constructor is not calling. So it is calling only once when our component will be mounting. Okay, so constructor is calling once. So this is our constructor. So like I am just creating one more function like function const tags. I have created one function here. Okay, and I am just using return 0 and I'm using console.log render. and I'm just passing this function into useState. Okay, now I'm just going to refresh, and this is render is calling. Now I'm clicking here, then my render is calling again and again. So each time when my component is rendering, each time this function is calling. So this is not a constructor, and previously I have used this arrow function, so this is working as a constructor. As comparing, we are comparing with the class component. Okay, so now we have completed like state, and we are using state in a different variable. So how we can use the state in a one object? So I want to use this state like count and title, and I want to use only one use state function. So I'm just going to comment this, and I'm just creating here where state, and here set state. Okay, and here I'm using state, and in this state I'm passing an object like count, and I'm having here, and I'm using here title initial like this. Okay, and I'm converting this to instant. Now constant count equal to state dot count. Okay, and constant title is equal to state dot title like this. Okay, so we have achieved that const. We have achieved const variable and title variable from this object, from state object. Okay, so now how we can change, like as we are changing here set count, and by using the set count. So how we will use here? So we will use here this function set state. Okay, set state. Now we will have here prev state. This as we are using prev count. Now our variable here is state. So we will use prev state, or as it is object, then we will use like this. Okay, then we will return an object as well. So like this is for count. Okay, prev state dot count -1. Okay, this is our count. Okay. And this is for count. If we will use like this, then our title will be miss. So we are not changing the title here. Okay, or we want to change the title as well, like set states. So I will remove here. So I will use here title like decrement. Okay, so as I am going to here, I will remove this, and I will change decrement to increment, and this is plus. Okay, so this is our use state for the object. Let's see on the browser. So I'm getting some no. So this is working fine. Plus and it is changed initial to increment. Now decrement. This is changed to decrement and decreasing the value by 1. So this is changed if we don't want to change title, only we want to change count. Okay, we have several values in our object like we have here. As I have assigned here only two value, count and title. But there are like 1000 values in object, and I want to change only one or two values. So how we can have the same here? So I will just use here like rest of the other. I will use spread operator. Okay, like this. So as this is the concept of spread operator, this is that there are two concepts like spread operator and rest operator. Okay, or concept of ES6. Okay, we will also cover ES6 after our React.js. So this is the this spread operator have all the value of the object, and this we are changing the value of count. This will replace this print state count. Okay, now let's see. Now our count is not working. So previous state, I'm just moving this previous state. So now this is incrementing and this is decrementing. Okay. So an initial is we are not changing the as we are not changing the title. So initial is not changing. So we will have this spread operator first, and after that we will change the count. Okay. If we use before changing, then it will like override, means this zero value will override this change, increment or decrement. So we will use at the beginning. Okay, so this is all about our state in functional component. Okay, now I am just starting the life cycle method as we have covered in our previous lecture. For class component, how we can use this life cycle methods, like we have used three methods for component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. So we have just used in our previous lectures. So if you have not seen till now, just watch and just practice this, and this will be easy to understand this lecture as well. Okay, now I'm just going to create one more file here for component like second. I'm just second.jsx. Okay, I've created RFC React snippet. I'm using recording snippet to create our functional component. Okay, so this is our functional component, and I'm just going here second component. Okay, this is the second component. I'm just going to import here in app component, import second from components second. And now I'm commenting this, and I'm creating calling one second component. Okay, this is our second component. So let's see. This is the second component is rendered here. So now I'm just creating const like count and set count use state. I'm having here 0 initial value. Okay. So use state we have here use effect. One more hook we have. First we have discussed one hook is use state. So every hook will start with use. As you are seeing here, I have used two hook here, use state and use effect. Both are starting with use. So every hook will start with use. So what use effect? This one. I am using a arrow function here. Arrow function also a concept of ES6. So like one. So this is a no, sequentially I will do this. So now this is console.log. This is component did mount. Component did mount lifecycle method. This is our will work like component did mount lifecycle method. Like when our component will load it, then this is only run at first time. Okay, at the time of loading. Okay. So now another lifecycle method I'm just going to cover like this is this. This is our component did update. Okay, component did update. Okay, so each time when our component will render, then this component did update will code. Okay, and how component did update? By the state, our state will change. As our state here count, as we will use set count, and we will change our we will change our state count value. Then this method will be called use effect and use effect second method and use effect. This is the first component did mount will call only once. Okay, now question is when we will how we will use unmounting. So unmounting the third we will use here return function and this is our and we will have this return function our component did mount effect. Okay, like this. So this is component will unmount will unmount. Okay, let's check in the browser. Okay, so component did mount in the console, component did mount and component did update is rendered. Okay, so now I'm just going to create as I have here in my previous. So I'm just going my previous component. I'm just going to copy and paste this here. Okay. So increment and decrement. I'm just going to create one function here. Function decrement. Okay. And I'm just going to create a function here. Increment. Okay. Like this. So and I will update my state by set count in this. Count -1. Count +1. Okay. Now I'm just going to browser. Title. We have some title here. So we are not using this title. I'm just going to remove from. We have only one state, count state. So I'm going to. Okay, now I am clicking here. So this is incrementing and this is decrementing. Okay, so here component did mount is like called once, and this is component did update calling every time when I am updating my state. Like when I am clicking here, then component did update is taking every time. So this is so we can use our component did update. So we have covered two lifecycle method: component did update and component did mount. Okay, so we can run like this also on the basis count. Okay, like if our count will be changed, then this component did update lifecycle method will be trigger here. So I'm just going to remove -1. So here I'm just setting, not updating our state with the same count value. Okay. So now check. Then when our count state will not change, then this will not call. This will call on when we will click on increment button, and when we will click on the decrement, it will not uh, call this component did update method. Okay, let's check. I'm just refreshing here. I'm just going to. So I'm clicking on plus means increment. Then our component did update is calling every time. When I'm clicking decrement, so when I'm clicking on decrement, then component did update is not calling because I'm setting the same value. Means this function is calling like setting value. Okay, so this function will not call when we have like we are not changing this value. So we can change this on the basis of condition as well, like less than 10. Okay, this will be work for this will be trigger for less than condition base. We can also call this use effect like whenever count state is less than 10, then it will be trigger, otherwise it will not be trigger. Like we are just going refreshing. I'm here. I'm just going component did update, not updating. Count is less than changing here. Just so component did update is calling here, and I'm calling, but this is not triggering for this less than equal to. So I think we need to use here prev state, prev count. Oh, this is not working. I think I don't know why this is not working. So this is working fine for the when we are changing, but this is not expecting the condition like 10. Greater than 10. So now this is triggered. Okay. After 10, this is triggered. And this is caching, I think. I'm just going to restart once. 10. Okay. I'm just going to restart my server. There is some caching, I think. npm start again. So this is not working for this. This was working for equal to 10. So you just check. I will share in the group why this is not working. Okay. So let's move on to the unmounting. Okay. Like I have a function here. I have a one component first. In this first component, I am just using useEffect. Okay. For unmounting, I am just copy this. I'm just doing paste here, and I'm just using first unmount. When I will unmount my component, I will like replace my this first component by the second component. Then this will unmount will call, and this is generally used for the like do the cleanup task and do some same save something in our database at the time on our unmounting we want to save, and we want to some perform some cleanup task, we use unmounting. Okay. So amount I'm just going to use here like second unmount. Okay. So in my app, I'm just going to like create one button like switch component. Switch components on click. I'm using here switcher. I will create one function switcher. Okay. Like function switcher. Okay. And I'm using here one state. I'm having one state like const, like flag, like set flag, and use state. So use state is added here. Okay, no problem. And I am assigning initial value false. Okay. Now when I will click on switcher button, then I will change the value of this set flag like not equal to flag. Okay. Not equal to flag. If the flag value is false, then it will change to true. If flag value is true, then it will change to the false like this. Okay. On the ternary condition, we will use like this flag this, and if flag is true, then we will call this component. If flag is false, then we will call our this component. Okay. When flag is true, we will like mount second component and first component will be unmount. And when flag is false, second component will be like unmount and first component will be mounted. So let's see on the browser, use effect not added here. So we will use here use effect, but use effect there is no, I have not used use effect here. Why this is so? Okay, in the first component I have not used use effect. I'm just going here and I have used here use effect, but I have not imported here. So this, so now this is, I'm just going to switch, click on the switch, clicked. So first component is unmounted and component database. So first component is unmounted and loaded, second component. When I will click here, the second is unmounting. Okay, like this. Okay, now I'm unmounting one component and mounting another components. So like this, our this component will unmount lifecycle method back in the functional component. I think this is all the three lifecycle methods of class component is now we can use in the functional component with the using of useState and the useEffect. We can use this type. So the our next question is how and where we can use our the like HTTP requests, where we can get the data from the server, and how we can use in this as we have used in our previous lecture. Okay, so I'm just going in my second component. Okay, and I'm just going to comment this condition. Okay, and I'm just going to directly code this second. So we have a like I'm just going in the previous React Ajax API, and so this is the React documentation for the Ajax and APIs. I have also used this type of example in my previous class component. Okay, and I have get the data from a server and I have shown the data in my front end. So in my React hook, how can I use there? Like this is the my component. So I'm just going to create one more component here with the name of my component. I just did my component.js. I have created there an RFS. I'm just snippet using the React snippet. I'm just like this. Okay. Now from this component, this documentation. So I'm just going to copy these three state, one for the error, second for the loading, and third for the items. Okay, I have just I'm just going to paste here. I have pasted here. Okay, so I have created three state here. One for the error, if I am getting any error from the server, and if server is taking time to loading the data. So this is for, I will show some loader text loading. We can show some image as well. And this is the item. Item is like data we are getting from the server. Okay. So now I am going to I'm using this. Okay. Use effect. Okay. I'm just going to copy this and I'm just going to paste here. Okay. Use effect. So as per this is our mounting lifecycle method. Okay. This will call once. Okay. So And in this we are using fetch. This is the Windows method to send a HTTP request to the server. So we will use URL here, and in the JSON formatter, this the JSON, and this result is, this will provide us a result, and we will set here is loader true. If we are getting any data, we are change false to true. Okay, and set item, we will here set the our result. Okay, in this state. And here we have another, like if we are getting any error, then is set is loaded true. Okay, we are getting some response, so we are changing false to true. And set error, we will enter here our error. Okay, so first of all, I'm just there are so many dummy images, like dummy APIs. I'm just going to like like fake. There are the fake APIs, so many. You can Google and get some fake APIs and use in our, like we have some example here. This is fake store API products. So we will get the products here. I'm just going here, and I'm just changing this URL. Okay, this is, so now I am just going to my network, and I will just go refresh. I will refresh my component. Switching 0. So I'm just typing something here, like this is my component. So I have to, so I need to call here my component as well. So I'm just going to import here, import my component. Okay, I imported, and then I will call here in place of second. I'm just calling here. Okay, now I'm just going to use state is not defined. I'm just going to my component, and I have used use state, use effect, but I have not imported here, and use state. Okay, now this API, like, okay, so as I am going to, okay, I have refreshed my component. Now this HTTP request is fired, and I am getting the data like this: ID, title, price. So this type of code I am getting: ID, image, price, rating, title. Okay, so I'm I'm getting the data. Okay, I'm getting the data, and I have stored this data into set items. So I have data into like uh, in my items like this. Okay, like items, we have here dot map. We will use here item. Okay, like this. Like in the documentation. Okay, we will not directly do this. We will have like this. If we are getting error, then we will return in error. If we are is loaded, currently we are not getting any response, and it will take time, then we will show loader, and after that we will return the all our API data. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and I'm just going to copy, and I will replace this return function. Okay, now I'm just going, so I'm getting data. First, as I am refreshing here, I'm getting loading. Loading. After that, data is loading. So it is taking some milliseconds to 550 milliseconds, and for this 550 milliseconds I'm getting loaded. Okay, and after that my data is loading. So in that item I'm getting title, not name. Okay, so I'm just changing this and just refresh this is. So I'm getting title and price. So like this we can use our APIs. Okay, we can call it our APIs in mounting. So this is the example, and this. So if like I have a tab or something, I want to like fetch. I'm just going to create a like. I'm just going to like get data, create a function, get data, and get data. Okay, and in this function, I'm just going to I have called this, and I am calling this function here. Okay, function. I have created one function, and I have written my Ajax code in this function. Okay, now I have here like I'm just creating one more state for like count and set count, and I am using here use state, and in this I am using one. Okay, one. So I want to pass one here like count, and I want to get data of some specific products by its ID. Okay, so I will pass this count to like this. Okay, like this. Okay. Now I will get here a data not in like object. I will get in the object form, but not in like in the form of the multiple objects like a key value pair like 0, 1, 2, 3. I will get a single object record. So I will call like this items dot id and items dot name title and items dot price. Okay, and I'm just going to comment this. Okay, so first we have loaded all the products. Now I'm just going to load only one product, and ID of this product is one. Okay, now I'm just going to refresh this. Item is not defined. Okay, I have used some commented item. This is item, this is not item. Okay, so I'm just going to. So we are here error. Okay, as we are getting error, then our error is showing here. Okay, so like here we are getting error, so this is showing here. Okay, so we are getting here. So this is not products. This is products. Okay, so that's why we are getting the error because of wrong URL. Now I'm going to refresh this. So I'm getting the one data, only single product data I'm getting here. Okay, now I want to like working on the like switch case I want to use. Like I want to fire the Ajax from my component data update lifecycle method. So how I will do this? So I'm just going there, and I'm just going to copy this, and so I'm using here React fragment as I have discussed before. If you don't know React fragment, just watch my last video. Okay, this is the React fragment I have used. So I have increment and decrement. I'm just copying. I'm just going to copy, and I'm just going to like set count equal to count minus 1 plus. Okay. Now we will have here like count. As you will get change count, then this will trigger. Okay. Title, we have used title somewhere. We need to remove title. Yeah, this title. There is, we are not using this state here. So let's check. So now I have get the product of ID1. Now I am switching to 2. I'm getting the now my API is triggered and I'm getting the like product of ID2. Like 3, I'm getting 3 as I will click here and so I can get. So I have using this API, my API in component it mount. Okay, so I have used here like this. Okay, so I have covered all the lifecycle method of class component states, and two I have covered two React hook, use state and use effect. Okay, so I have covered this lecture, and in next lecture we will cover our use ref and use context API, use memo, other React hooks we will cover. Okay, so I am just wrapping this session here. So I have covered all the lifecycle methods of class component in functional component with the help of use effect and use state. Okay, so we okay. I am just going to stop this video.